Ready to go?
Yeah. Good. All right. Same process as we've been going through. We'll get started with an opening statement from Coach here, and then we'll open up questions for student athletes Carter Booth and Charlie Furbringer, and then once we let the student athletes off the stage, we can have some questions for Coach. Coach, opening statement.
Yeah. I mean, certainly excited to be here, and congratulations to the other three teams that have also made it this far, and their coaches and administrations. All three of the jobs that they've done at their schools of just building their programs and their fan bases and administrative support. And just elevated through a lot of hard work. I think what you're going to find is four teams that none of them have a glass jaw. These are teams that value work ethic and toughness, camaraderie. I think there's a lot of similarities with, I think, all four teams' values and the work ethic behind that. I'm here with our two team captains, Charlie and Carter, and the job that they've done this year to get this group. Most of them have been really new. Carter is the only one that has had this kind of experience. Matter of fact, this might be the least amount of players in a Final Four that have ever previously been to a Final Four. I can't imagine there have been too many times that there have been fewer people on the four teams. And so we've certainly leaned on that experience that we've gotten from her. And then Charlie, I just think, has done just an amazing job. So we're excited to be here and excited to get this thing rolling.
All right. Open things up with questions for the student athletes, starting up here.
Hey, y'all. It's Megan Hall with USA Today. Carter, this question is for you, and obviously I know that you've heard this a lot over the last couple of days about explaining your refuse to lose. I'm going to clean it up, of course. But how much has that been a rallying cry for you guys? If you just go into, I guess, your winning streak as well, like where did this I refuse to lose kind of start, and then how has it evolved over the winning streak?
I mean, I've always been fiercely competitive. I mean, these two can speak to how I am in practices. I am the same way. Sometimes Kelly has to stop me and say, hey, it's a good thing your teammate can block that shot because it means they're going to do it against other people. But I think it just comes from a determination that this team has found to prove to people who we are and the work that we've put in this entire season. And also, coming into this tournament, we talked about the second that you think that something is owed to you is the second you lose, the second your season is over. And I think that the other side of that is also that nothing's owed to anyone, which means anytime you step out there, it's anyone's game. So it does have to be an active refusal or an active search for a win, for a championship, as you move through this, because it's not going to just fall into anybody's lap.
Lee Feinswag from 900 Square Feet. So this is for both you guys. Charlie, in your case, your parents played volleyball pretty well. And Carter, your basketball background. Can you both talk about the influence of the highly successful parents you had in sports and what that's done for you and how it's filtered down?
Yeah, I think there's just a lot that my parents can relate to about what we go through, so they don't put too much pressure on me, and they just continue to just allow my passion to shine, and they just want what's best for me, and all they've ever told me growing up is whatever I'm going into to work my hardest throughout it all. It doesn't matter the outcome as long as I'm working my hardest, which I think is an amazing way to go about things, and I think it's allowed me to just have so much fun in this sport and not take it too seriously, especially from a younger age. Obviously now it's a serious thing for me, but I'm not burnt out from it at this point, even though I've been playing since I was literally born. They've just allowed me to have a lot of freedom in it, which I think is super important.
Yeah, I mean, I think my parents really instilled in me the value of brains over brawn. Because, I did have the physical advantage of being super tall at a very young age, but I also was incredibly uncoordinated, and nothing but time was going to fix that. So in the meantime, I had to really learn how to get ahead using my mind. So I think that that's really contributed to my volleyball IQ, and also just the way my parents focused on developing me as an athlete before a volleyball player. Really helped with my athleticism, and it's why I'm able to move the way that I do at my size.
John Seppi, Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. Carter, going back to the refuse to lose, did you anticipate that's going to blow up this much? I see you've got T-shirts now. Kind of, what's the last 48 hours been like for you?
I mean, I want to first and foremost state the obvious in that was not scripted. I honestly blacked out and forgot the camera was there, which is why you see me turn and say, "Sorry, guys," because I'm just in my mind in that moment. I'm feeling my team celebrate behind me. I'm standing next to one of my best friends, and I'm just I'm so fired up. I honestly didn't expect the response, that for it to be as widely talked about as it is right now. But I'm as far as the T-shirts go, I'm happy some good can come out of it. Kelly helped me, set up a donation to a nonprofit organization that provides equipment for kids who can't afford to play sports. So things like that, finding ways to turn a viral moment like that into something good and that has a lasting impact within the community is what's most important to me.
All right, $6,000 were raised for this nonprofit. Why don't you give them a shout out of what that profit was that you wanted to behind?
So the nonprofit is called Good Sports. Basically, like I said, they provide equipment and gear for underprivileged youth who are trying to get into sports like hockey and volleyball. Volleyball, you need a new pair of shoes every 6 weeks, and people just can't afford that. And I just think that a child's passion shouldn't be barred by the fact that their parents can't afford to drop $30,000 on a club season. So that's an organization that's important to me and that I wanted to give back to.
Tedrick with the Volleyball Project. This is for Carter. Your world famous quote. What did your parents say afterwards, after your quote?
My mom thought it was awesome. She said, "That's what I'm talking about." My dad had not very much of a reaction, but he doesn't react to very much of anything. So yeah, it was pretty normal in the Booth household.
Any other questions for student athletes? Up here.
For both of you to go through the regional that you guys did, what's kind of the biggest thing you took away from defeating those two teams that were arguably Final Four caliber?
I think we're just a really gritty team, and we've showed up every single day since the beginning, since last spring. We've showed up every day, and we haven't gone through the motions one practice. We've come in every single day working the hardest that we can, knowing that this was our ultimate goal, and to finally be here. Winning a national championship is the ultimate goal, but this is obviously a step towards it, and to get to this point, we're super grateful and just proud of the work we've put in, but we're not done yet, and we're excited to play tomorrow and on Sunday, and I just think that we've put in the work to get to this moment, so feeling a lot of gratitude right now.
Two questions for both of y'all. The first one, just what's it like being in Kansas City, and do you have memories of traveling here for club or for anything? And then the second part is Wisconsin itself, the program is established well much in the volleyball world, but does it feel like that y'all are not getting the credit you deserve, but does it feel like you're kind of being counted out because of bigger storylines and of other teams and things like that in the tournament?
I'll answer the first one. Definitely have come here every single year for the NIT tournament, and it's kind of a full circle moment, really. We played in the other convention center, but that was always the best tournament because that was the only other tournament besides Junior Olympics that we had every single best team in the country competing in one club tournament. So I think it's super cool that we're able to be back here in a familiar city for all of us.
Yeah, and as far as the second question goes, what's been our focus is getting prepared. And what are we doing within our camp to prepare ourselves for this moment? There are no wins that are predetermined. Like I said, nobody is owed anything. It doesn't matter if you're projected as a favorite or not. You step out on that court, it's an even playing field. So I think we're just focused on making sure that we're in a position to win that battle when we step out on that playing field.
Any others?
Carter, it's kind of weird, but when Charlie went out and then subsequently came back, your team's better, not just because she came back, but during that time she was out and then her return, did that put you guys in a better position to do what you're doing?
Absolutely. I mean, it's adversity. This isn't easy. Getting to this point, being one of the last 4 teams in the entire country who are playing right now, that's not easy. And to be able to withstand that and to withstand what we're going to have to go through in this upcoming match, you have to experience hardship throughout the duration of the season. There's just no other way to do it. The tournament is designed to expose whatever holes you have and to push you to your limits. And if you haven't tested that in a controlled environment like your own gym or like a practice, you're not going to know how to respond when it happens out in front of thousands of people in the Final Four.
Tedrick with the Volleyball Project. This is for Charlie and Carter. At what point of the season that you feel that you guys could have made it here? Was there a certain game, there a certain play you felt like, oh, okay, we can get to Kansas City?
Yeah, the second everyone stepped in the gym last spring, I think we knew from the start that we've had the talent. It's just whether or not we were going to lean into it, and we did exactly that from the start. And we weren't perfect from the start, obviously, but we always knew that we had the opportunity to make it here. We just had to lean into it.
Hi, I'm Lindsay Harwood with Side Out Society. Your teammate Jada posted a video of getting ready with you before a game, doing lip stain or any other pregame. I wanted to ask you, what is your pregame ritual, whether it's getting ready together as a team or any other superstitions you might have coming into such a high pressure environment?
Well, we can't say that one.
Oh, no. I don't know. I think I kind of just watch a lot of film, like pregame. I like go through and watch like every single attack, every single like however many times somebody touched a ball, I'm like trying to watch it. And then, I mean, as far as getting ready, most of the time I don't even. I'm just like so focused and like the wheels are turning in volleyball mode for like. Now it's days in advance. Like I'm talking to you right now and I'm picturing volleyball in my brain. Like my full attention is on nothing but volleyball. So yeah, that's all I'm thinking about.
Yeah, and we do one like kind of connecting thing before we go into the match when we put our jerseys on, just getting settled and just a reminder to stay humble with one another, and then we go up and do our thing. So yeah.
All right, we'll do one more question right here. And then we'll move to questions for Coach. PJ.
For Charlie, I mean, Carter, you can also add if you would like. But Charlie, just how much do y'all feed off of Carter's leadership and intensity? Just because, I mean, you can feel it through the TV. You can feel it if you're there. You can feel it right now. Just how much do y'all feed off of her?
So much. I mean, it's been awesome to just see her leadership, especially throughout this part of the season, has been unreal. And in the timeouts, I mean, I'm just listening to Carter, like whatever Carter says goes. And she's the type of person we have the match on the line, she says set me, and I just have so much confidence in her. And I think it's funny that the whole world's getting to see her true self, because I mean, what she said on live TV, we've seen that every single day from her. And she's brought that day in and day out, and we've been so grateful to just have an amazing leader who's so well-spoken and comes in every day ready to work. So it's been awesome, and I think just super helpful for us, especially because she's had this experience, and we have a really new team, a lot of transfers, freshmen. So it's going to be great to be able to carry on what she says and her passion and her aggressiveness throughout the next couple seasons without her.
All right. Carter, Charlie, thank you for your time.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
All right, questions for Coach? Start right here.
I'll ask you kind of the opposite of what I asked Craig. Kind of what, with what he's done for as long as he's done at Kentucky, what do you respect or what has impressed you the most about him, and any favorite early memories with him?
There's a photo going out there with the two of us. We probably won, I don't know, some little JV tournament or something. But I hope you all hammer him for the pants that he was wearing in that photo, if you've seen that. That needs to be blown up and just Neither of us expected us to. Neither of us. This wasn't a goal for either of us when we were younger. I don't. I think you know, our 20-year-old selves to sit there and thinking that both of us have won national championships and have, you know, multiple trips to the Final Four. That would blow our minds. You know, that was never the goal. We love the sport. We were around really good people. Really extremely fortunate of the people that we were around when we were getting started. And then you know, both of us had people that came in front and said, what do you think about getting into college coaching, and gave us opportunity. And I think both of us were, you know, curious enough and asked a lot of questions and humble enough and with really good work ethic that I think most of the people in where we're from have. And, you know, we stand on a lot of other people's shoulders. What he's done I remember him and I having a conversation before, right around the time he was thinking about whether he was going to take that Kentucky job or not. And, you know, the question is, I mean, the thing is, you can't do it alone. And you've got to be able to paint your vision to everybody, to your administration. You got to convince them to invest more. To your fan base, you've got to get out there and wave the banner or stand on top of buildings or get in fighter jets, whatever it is that you've got to do to get people to want to come and check out this thing. I mean, there are only, you know, a couple hundred people going to their matches when they first there, and so. He's built a behemoth, but he's done it the right way, and they are consistently good, which is the programs that I respect the most are the ones that can do it year in, year out and not be flashes in the pan, and that is certainly not them.
Kelly, you know, you have your share of star power on this team and kids who have stepped forward. Una Vagic has been one of those who's kind of under the radar, whose game just seems to keep going up and up here, especially down the stretch. What can you say about her contributions here and the impact she's having right now?
Yeah, she's stealthy, right? That'd probably be the word that comes to mind is, you know, she just, she's playing with a different level of freedom than what she was earlier in the year, and it's really tapped into some great things. She's responding after errors better than what she's ever done before. Her bounce back ability has been fantastic. You know, it's she defends or she passes really well. She's getting on balls and just really taking big-time fearless swings, which you've got to be able to do at this level. Can you take big-time swings? Can you take big-time swings when a defense is set up against you? And do you have the courage and the skill to be able to execute in those moments? And so many people, they get really safe. They play not to make errors. And if you do that, you're giving your opponents a chance to come right back at you. And she plays with the fearlessness that I think all of us love and this team desperately needs. And, you know, and that confidence just keeps going and going and going. And when she's bouncing around like she is with a little smile on your face, you know, she reminds me a little bit of Yulia Orzel and with that. And when she's in that mode, all right, we're usually pretty good to go.
Abby Schnabel, Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. Kelly, at the beginning, you talked about how each of these coaches have really built up their programs. Can you speak to what Dan Fisher has done at Pitt? You know, 5 straight Final Fours, really putting them on the map?
No. No, but I'll talk about anybody without hair all day long. Dan, I mean, all of these guys, you know, I just ran into Jamie out there in the hallway, you know, and I told him I'm really proud of him, you know, really proud of him. You know, and Dan, it's, you know, these aren't volleyball epicenters with big time traditions, right? It's but you got to roll up your sleeves and you got to put the work in. He's got a very consistent staff that has been with him, and they work as hard as anybody. You see each of these staffs that are here, man, you're constantly running. They're in the convention centers right when the doors are open. They're there when it leaves. You find yourself in, the number of times you're in a gym in a different part of the world, and you're thinking nobody else is going to be there, and you walk in there, and one of the members of these coaching staffs that are here this weekend are in there, and you're like, my God, it's. He's done it with work. They're very, very skilled. They are tough. He gets his teams to play tough. They're fearless, and they're experienced. They're dangerous. All four teams are dangerous.
John Audius, ESPN Madison. I know you've been playing Aerosmith's Dream On at practice, and it kind of feels like an anthem for this team. Was there any particular reason why that song was chosen?
No, just on my playlist. But, when I think it was 2003, maybe, I was at the Final Four, and I'm pretty sure it was Hawaii, Florida, Stanford, and Minnesota, I think was the Final Four. And I sat in the stands, and they played this video on the video board to that song. And it was the final kill of each of the regional finals. And I remember them talking, the word sage comes up in that song. And right then you got Dave Soji, I think they showed, and they were showing each of the coaches and their reactions. And I was here for the convention and watching the Final Four, and I'm sitting in the stands, and I'm just like, my God. I mean, I was going to these practices, writing things down religiously, just dreaming of just saying, God, would this be amazing? And I got back home, and I reached out to the NCAA and said, can I get that video? And I called them multiple times because nobody would, I kept waiting. And finally, months later, I get this VHS tape of that video. And I played it all the time. And there'd be times after, as I'm going through my career, there'd be times that I'm driving home after a win or something like that. And that would be one of the songs that I'd, Eminem, something like that would also be a song. I'm sure all of us have those things. But I don't know if that's been an anthem. That was, the other day we're at practice. At the end of practice, that song pops up. And it's like, yeah, I mean, it's just a great reminder. All of us, whether it's coaches, whether it's players, these guys, when they're younger, we've all got dreams of being exactly where we are right now. And sometimes we need to be reminded what we're doing is really, really cool. And let's have fun with it and keep dreaming those big dreams.
PJ Green, Kansas City Star. With the Final Four and the AVCA convention just coincide every year, and Kansas City being the hotbed that it is, does it feel like you mentioned, seeing coaches just from all over? Does it feel like a family reunion aspect, and is it good to be a part of it now, actually playing in it?
The convention took a totally different meaning to me after the first time I came here. You love coming to it. You love it, and then you get to it, and then you really don't want to be a part of the convention anymore. You just want to be a part of the Final Four experience, and so it just. But I know what this is like to see people that are in the same profession as you, and to swap ideas, and man, there are just not too many cities that are better to go and if you're part of this convention, go have some barbecue and a beer. I mean, there's just so many different places here. I love coming to this place, and I never sleep well at night after eating here. That's a different story, but I mean, this is a great city. They really, really support and get behind our sport.
Carl Winter from WKW in Madison. Kelly, your offense and Kentucky's two of the best in the country all season long, but especially playing well right now. What are the biggest challenges that theirs poses for your defense and preparing for them?
Yeah, I mean, just go and look at the All-American listings that just came out, and their players are peppered all over it. They've got two big-time players that when you have a player that can carry a team when in non-perfect situations, it just relieves so much. And they've got two of them that it relieves the pressure on your serve receive. It relieves the pressure of what a setter is feeling. You don't feel like you've got to be perfect. And so when you're going through some of those times, you've got people that are courageous and willing to take big-time swings. They certainly have that on the left really well. They've got, Hudson has gotten a lot better than what she has last year. I mean, she was a big-time player last year, but she's elevated her game at a totally different level. Lizzie Carr has taken her game to a totally different level the past month. They've continued to get better as they've worked through the season. Sometimes that's hard to do. I mean, they haven't lost since, first week of September. Sometimes you get teams that when they're just having that success over and over and over again, what drives you, not just the results, but are you getting better? And their players are getting better as they're moving through the season, even with that success. Sometimes you hear people say, well, a loss is good to experience to be able to go. They haven't lost forever, and they continue to get better, which means there's a motivation thing that's happening right there. They don't need that loss. They're tapping into something else. And that's coaching and that's leadership out on the court.
I always had you pegged as a VHS kind of guy. When Charlie got hurt, your team was playing really well. You had gotten to a pretty good level. Then when she was out, there was a dip. But since she's come back, you're playing even better than that, which is kind of like what I asked Carter. But what do you see from that? And maybe it was something that she gained while she was out, and that the team had a new confidence with her back.
It's a lot of things. It's not just Charlie. I told our team one of our first team meetings, I said, y'all don't know each other. And they were offended. They were genuinely offended by that and upset about that. And I said, you don't. You guys spend time together, but you don't know each other. It's different having trust on the court of knowing who's going to show up, when things get tight, who's got what seams. Communication, and who's fearless, who's going to run, all those things. You just have to go through that. We weren't a team that communicated very well on the court together. We weren't a team that responded to adversity the way that we needed to in a unified fashion together early on. And so with the season, we've learned a lot of those things as we move through the season, and. One things we talk about is, everybody gets adversity in life, and the adversity comes all over the place. How do you respond to that is everything, and do you lean into that? And so when Grace Egan went down, who was, that was a bit of adversity. And then coming right after that, shortly, Charlie was. And so there was a lot of moving pieces as a team was starting to get to know each other. Is that a gunshot? Is everybody all right? The train of thought right there, that was unnerving a little bit. But then when Charlie got back, there was a different, I think everybody had to elevate their game even more. Certainly they had, Charlie, I think, kind of gets things smoother. Carter has the strength for our team, but Charlie's the one, you're watching her, there's the constant communication all the time. And Addie is just trying to run the offense, and there was probably a little bit less than that, so everybody else kind of had to rise up a little bit. It brought more out of them. And then when Charlie got back there, I think it kind of kept that elevated state. And Charlie was learning a lot and applied a lot of things while she was out. And one of them was feeding Carter a lot more. Her game was I think, is playing as well as anybody in the country, regardless of position in the last month.
All right, got time for one more, and then it's time to go.
Hi, Tiff Oshinsky with Side Out Society, and on a bit of a lighthearted question for you. So after the Texas win, there was pictures of you dancing in the locker room after the game. Grace Egan's face was impeccable. I was just curious, where did you learn your dance moves, and how often do you bust them out?
Oh, I've got dance moves. I'm walking down, and two of our players, I can't even tell you who, said, when you walk in there, you need to do this. And when you just go and beat an elite Texas team on their home court for a chance of the Final Four, and your players tell you to go and do this, that's your moment to go and do that. I have no idea what that move is. I don't know what it's called. I think my response is, there's going to be cameras in there. This isn't going to be a move that gets me in trouble, is it? And they're like, no, you're good. There you have it.
Awesome.
Thanks, guys.
Coach, thank you for your time. Good luck tomorrow.